A man inserted a measuring rod into the ground, but when his colleague finished the measurement, he found it impossible to pull the rod out. However, as he squatted down to examine the soil, he discovered his hands were covered in blood. Just as he was puzzling over this, a pair of blood-red eyes suddenly appeared in the dirt. His colleague immediately heard a scream. Through the measuring equipment, the colleague saw the man being dragged away. He had no idea what was happening when he suddenly noticed something in the woods rapidly approaching him. Terrified, he turned and fled. He ran through the dense forest and hid behind a dead tree. Just as he was about to rest, he suddenly noticed something strange about the ground beneath his feet. He reached out to touch the ground. The next morning, a father and son discovered the measuring rod while hunting. As they were puzzling over it, their dog suddenly started barking wildly at something in the distance. They followed the sound and found a pile of bloody clothes on the ground. The man sensed danger and told his son to take the dog home immediately while he quickly grabbed his rifle just in case. However, as soon as the boy left, gunshots rang out behind him. Without hesitation, he kept moving forward, following his father's instructions to leave the forest and call the police right away. When the police arrived to conduct a search and rescue, they only found blood-stained clothing and measuring tools. Even more perplexing to the authorities were the many strange footprints they discovered in the forest. That night, the boy's mother suddenly noticed the family dog incessantly barking at the front door. Perplexed, she opened the door and took the dog out to investigate but found nothing. However, when she returned, she found herself locked out. The woman immediately called out loudly for her son while frantically pounding on the door. The boy, hearing the knocking from downstairs, quickly ran out of his bedroom to check, only to find a mysterious monster with glowing red eyes charging at him from the end of the hallway. Panicked, the boy immediately ran downstairs and escaped through the dog door. At this point, Mulder, who had come to investigate the case, stopped him. The next day, as Mulder and Scully examined the house, they discovered the monster's footprints on the floor by the door. To search for traces of the monster, Mulder and Scully entered the forest. Suddenly, Jeff noticed the detector showing a human figure 20 yards ahead. All of a sudden, the figure began to move, and the four immediately gave chase. However, they hadn't run far when Jeff discovered another figure heading in the opposite direction. The four then split into two groups to continue tracking. Yet, as Mulder and Jeff pursued their target, it suddenly vanished. Left with no choice, they had to return. On the way back, Scully suddenly realized the sheriff had disappeared right before her eyes.